Hey folks, we're back in Smithy's Forge. Finally doing another video, guys. Yeah, definitely been a while. This is a lot harder to do than I thought it would be, honestly, getting a channel going. God, it's a bugger. But I found something I really want to do. We have Marvel Legends Blade. And Blade is awesome. This is actually kind of cool. The series that this one is from, he's a little bit of a curveball. His look is, this is kind of like a hybridized figure. His look is it's taken from a few different comics. The short-lived Blade TV show, which I never actually got a chance to watch. I watched the Wesley Snipes movies, which were awesome, but I never actually saw the show. But he's very reminiscent of that. Can't honestly complain about it too much. But before we get into him, take a quick look at the box here. Hey. Okay, Blade, you're gonna have to sit off to the side. Okay. Says Blade up here. You have the funky little figure, symbol there. Symbol, duh. Marvel Legends series. Want to block this part. Come back here. You have the other figures available in this line. You have Daredevil, Punisher, Elektra, Jessica Jones, and Bullseye. And this is one of those build-a-figure things. So they all come with a piece of another figure, which I will eventually get to. Grab the camera up here. Have a cool little product shot along with his quick bio. And fun bit here, his real name is Eric Brooks. I actually know an Eric Brooks. He's my friend's dad, actually. It's kind of funny. Except he's not black and he's not nearly this cool. So, yeah, that's the box. Don't want to... For those of you who know, go ahead and spoil it in the comments if you feel like. Oh, losing the camera here. But I'm trying not to spoil the Build-A-Fig because I'm doing this whole thing. I'm doing these guys, this whole series. I'm going to pick all of these guys up and we're going to be doing hopefully one a week. Come on, work with me, Blade. Now, one thing I love about these Marvel Legends figures is they're great representations of the characters and they're crazy posable. If not slightly difficult to balance, but that's my table. So before we get into the posability, we'll take a couple quick looks at the details here. First off, just going to go with he has this little ab crunch joint, which is really good because it's actually in a very natural spot. So when he does that, it looks very natural. And it doesn't mess with the detailing at all. The detailing kind of just meshes with it, so works great. This piece right here that has his stakes and the belt on it, including his sheath for his sword back here. This is actually a separate piece, and it's very easy to take off. It doesn't peg in anywhere or anything. You can just lift his arm up like that and slide it right off. So we'll actually do that to go over some of the details, make it a bit better. You have all of his muscles and everything are really well detailed. This piece here actually I think comes off. Yeah. Oh, well, it sits in such a way that it doesn't come off, actually. That's kind of good. That way you don't have to worry about losing that. But no, just fantastic detailing. I really like... I don't have... Actually, I think... Yeah, this is my only one of the Marvel Legends figures. I don't make a point of collecting these guys most of the time because... Pretty much because most of the time it's one of those, if you buy one from a series, then you got to buy all of them from the series, or otherwise you can't do the Build-A-Fig thing, in which if you can't do the Build-A-Figure thing, then you're just sitting there with a bunch of spare parts that are kind of just taking up space, and that sucks. So, for me, these guys are a really cool set, even though the set is kind of odd, because, you throw in 4 characters from the Netflix Marvel shows, and then we randomly throw in Blade and Bullseye. Slight problem there. I don't understand why we didn't just throw in Danny and Luke. That way we could have had the whole set. And then their Build-A-Figure is a little bit out of left field, but he's one of those characters that the Build-A-Figure is the one I'm not attached to the character or anything. I just like his design. So I'm getting off on a bunny trail here when I should be reviewing this thing, but we'll go through the posability real quick. His head is on a ball joint and a hinge. So, you know, you can do all kinds of weird things with him if you really want to. Or, you know, you can just do normal things with him like any reasonable person would. Shoulders are on universal joints. This joint is not loose, but it's looser. These joints, any of these pivoting joints, are really, really tight. You got a double jointed elbow, so he's actually got accurate elbow articulation. Got a bicep swivel. You have his hand is on a hinge here, and it's on I think this is a ball joint actually, but it's pretty much just a swivel because of the build of his hand. You have that ab joint. You have full waist joint and on a soft ratchet. Only issue with this is if you do anything, it kind of sets him off a little bit, so I don't like using this joint too much. You have hip joint, which is limited due to his butt mold. You have, slight hinge there. You have a thigh swivel, which does the same thing as waist joint does. If you move it off place suddenly, these things are molded so well that anytime you screw with the wrong joint, it actually screws up the molding. You have double jointed knee, so he has accurate knee articulation. You have a shin swivel, and then you have a very odd kind of ball jointed, hinge jointed ankle. So he has all the posability that you would want in a figure like this. He's hard to pose because some of his joints are so tight and some of his joints are not as tight, so it's one of those kind of hit or miss things with the joints. Now, as far as accessories goes, here, you can get Blade standing. Dang it, Blade, stay. Obviously you have his little belt here that has the multiple wooden stakes along with the sheath. You have a sword, which is, he has a katana, which you can store right in his sheath, like that. My only disappointment is he doesn't have the Movie Blade sword, because the Movie Blade sword is awesome with like the little, you know, booby-trapped handle, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But this is still cool. You can put it on either way, as you saw before, it was sitting like this on him. You can put it on so it'll sit this way too. Just, you know, put his arm up, slide it on like that. It's very simple, and it works just as well. You know, can sit it just like that, and he's good. And you can either have it stored there, or, you know, it's Blade, so he should be holding his sword. Ha! And his hands are molded, so you can actually get him in a two-handed pose like you saw in the back of the box. I suck at posing this dude. I just am terrible at posing this guy. So basically what I do when I have him on my shelf is he's either sitting there in kind of a, you know, that kind of pose, or I just have him, you know, come on, work with me, Blade. Something like that. A very basic pose, because like I said, I suck at this. He also comes with an alternate head. And here you have the Wesley Snipes looking head, which is the head that he has whenever he's sitting on my shelf. Because I grew up with Wesley Snipes' Blade. So to swap out his head, it's very simple. You just grab his head here and pull it really hard. And you take the Wesley Snipes head. Come on. Snap his neck. Come on. There we go. And now we have Wesley Snipes' head on Blade, which looks so much more cool to me. Come on. Like I said, first off, my table it sucks. I have had no luck whatsoever getting myself set up with a better setup for reviews, which is one of the reasons I haven't been doing very many, if any, is just my whole system is pretty screwy. So come on Blade, help me out here. There we go. So yeah, he is absolutely awesome. I actually found this set by accident. I was looking at Transformers in Walmart, and I took a stroll down the other end of the aisle, and I saw the Punisher one of this line, which will be in this line. This is a little bit of an announcement. I'm doing this whole set. So that'll be for the next 6 weeks. I'll be putting one of these guys out every week, and on the 7th week we'll do the Build-A-Figure. Speaking of which, Build-A-Figure, this guy comes with an accessory, which is his piece. It's a leg. I'll leave you on your own to figure out who that belongs to. So yeah, I'm gonna try and start like from the legs, because the box you can actually numbers it out, so you can pick out which one is going to be the next one for your Build-A-Fig. So I'm planning on starting at the bottom and just working my way up. So, you know, leg, torso, arm, head. Which means, yeah, according to the box, the last piece will be Daredevil. So Daredevil's going to be the last one in this line, weirdly enough. And it's the Netflix Daredevil. So if you don't like the Netflix Daredevil shows, first off, what's wrong with you? Second off, you probably won't care for the figure. But it's definitely worth checking out. Like I said, going to be trying to put one of these out every week. So, this is going to be the next series. This is going to be a big goal for me. So, I'm going to stop rambling now, because this seems to be what I've been doing on most of my videos when I put them out, is just rambling. So, that has been the Marvel Legends series Blade. And this has been the Smithy. And just remember, sooner or later, the thirst always wins.